All right, guys, this is our last example in section 7.1. Let me start out with a joke, okay? Why was the baseball player arrested in the middle of the game? So, why was the baseball player arrested in the middle of the game? He was caught stealing a second base. Haha, get it? All right, that is my toddler joke of today. Example find the exact means no cow, okay, solution of each equation. So we will start with A, 2 times sine inverse of x equals to pi over 2. This is an inverse function. It will have restriction, so keep that in mind, okay? So, oh, there's my microwave. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So keep in mind that anytime that you see an inverse function, it will always have to have restriction, and you have to follow or obey those restrictions. So in order for me to solve for x, I first have to get rid of the 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So dividing by 2, meaning that I can also multiply by its reciprocal. And sometimes that's easier to do. So I'm going to rewrite this and then show you that I can also multiply by 1/2 by its reciprocal, okay? So notice how that is slightly easier than dividing by 2. So that and that will cancel out, and I now have cosine inverse of x equals pi over 4, okay? Now I need to find what x is, right? So would you agree that now I will compose both sides by regular cosine, okay? And that is going to be going away. So now cosine is, okay, remember we started with cosine inverse, and cosine inverse is restricted in quad 1 and quad 2. So cosine of pi over 4, of course you know what this is. I know you know what that is. And you can only have one answer, which is radical 2 over 2. And that is your final answer for example 5a. I'm gonna hop over and do example 5c because it looks really scary, would you agree? But it's not that scary. So again, the first thing in order for us to solve is try to put all the x's together. So I'm going to move 2 sine inverse of x, okay, from both sides. And believe it or not, you can combine, you can add and subtract, okay, these sine inverses. So now 5 sine inverse of x, take away 2 sine inverse of x, you now have 3 sine inverse of x. And then I'm just going to bring everything else, which is minus 2 pi equal to negative 3 pi down. The next thing I will do is I will add 2 pi to both sides. So now I have 3 sine inverse of x equals to a negative pi. Then I will divide everything by 3, or I can multiply everything by 1/3. It's really up to you. You pick whatever's easiest for you. So now you have sine inverse of x equals to negative pi over 3. Now let's talk about the restriction of sine inverse. Sine inverse is restricted in quad 1 and quad 4. So remember, from negative pi over 2 here, okay, to positive pi over 2 above. So this is a negative pi over 3. It has to come from quadrant number 4. So in quad 4, if you remember, oops, let me just draw a triangle out here. Do I expect you to know what the from the unit circle? Yes, I do. Okay, but if you don't, I'm going to remind you of how to find this answer. Okay, so this is a negative pi over 3, which is in quad 4. Negative means you're going clockwise. So this is pi over 3 is equivalent to 60 degrees. So opposite of that is, let me erase. Opposite of that is rad 3, but because you are in quadrant number 4, it's going to be negative rad 3. That means this is 1 unit. Okay, let me erase. I can write my 1. This is 1 unit, and this is 2. So cosine is going to be, I'm sorry, sine, not cosine. Sine is always going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So our next step is I'm going to solve for x. So now I'm going to compose both sides by regular sine. So regular sine, and then copy down sine inverse of x. Okay, what you compose to one side, you compose that to the other. Okay, oops, I meant I composed regular sine. So erase. There you go. Okay, so now if you can see that these two are going to cancel. So if I cancel those, I now have x equals sine of, and I really meant, dude, I'm messing up all over, a negative pi over 3. Okay, so that's really sine of a negative pi over 3 right here. Okay, here's negative pi over 3 in quad 4. Sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, so x is going to come out to be a negative rad 3 over 2. And do you need to show the triangle? No, not really. I'm just showing that. So I know some of us are still struggling with the unit circle. If you know it right away from your unit circle, then just find it for me, okay? And you can get it a lot faster if you already know your unit circle. All right, last example. It's the one in the middle, which is by far the easiest one. So first thing is I will divide everything by negative 4. So tangent inverse of x equals negative pi over 4. Okay. I'm going to now compose both sides. So here we go. I'm going to use a different color. Okay, tangent of tangent inverse of x equals tangent of pi over 4. Because what you do to the left, you need to do to the right. These will cancel out. So now you have x equals tangent, and I meant to say negative. Sorry. Tangent of a negative pi over 4. Well, tangent of negative pi over 4 is over here in quadrant 4. So it's going to be a negative answer because you're in quadrant 4. And tangent of any multiple pi over 4 is going to be a negative 1. Okay. And guess what? This is the end. Happy face. The end.